Same ones I mentioned, earlier as we were speaking on the Zoom call. But Tyron Bradley has done a good job of leading. Devlin Offlet has done a good job of leading. I feel like our quarterback Keyshawn Harris has done a great job of leading. And I think overall, I think our kids, this is a group that kind of picks each other up, and that's definitely good to see as far as your team chemistry is concerned. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Just observing those guys on film, they're playing very inspired. They've had a rough 3 or 4 years, but they still have that tradition there. They have a lot. They've won some state championships in Abilene Wylie, and the expectation is high there. And so now you got a team coming in that starting a lot of seniors on offense, or starting a lot of seniors on defense. They have a new coach. They look like they're playing inspired. They'll get after you, and we're expecting a really tough ball game. But at the same time, I know my guys are ready to play. My guys are going to bring it too. It's homecoming. So we'll just be excited to see that ball leave the tee for the first time this year. We have 8 returners back on defense. Obviously we gave up a lot of yards in the air last year, but we got all those guys back with a season under their belt. We have a really good defensive line when we put them out on the field. I'm anxious to see if we can, get a lot of 3 and outs. Give our offense a lot of touches because of our defense playing really well. I'm anxious to see what Tyron Bradley can do since he's full-time on defense right now. We moved the receiver to safety and Lewin's man. I'm anxious to see what he can do with it, because he's very athletic. I'm hoping we can be very good against the pass. I hope our pass defense is good.
The defense and offense challenge. I'm hoping our defense, we're going to have to win the game on defense. They're going to have to get them off the field. We're going to have to play field position. I think a 20-mile-per-hour wind doesn't always help us, but that's called April and May around here, -20, so we're used to throwing it in the wind. But it's going to be special teams. It's going to be defense. It's not going to be something that you think is going to be, the matchup on paper is defense versus offense, but it might be our defense that has to step up, or it's their offense. It's going to be something that you don't see that's going to be a difference in the game. And they are good on defense. That's one of the best defenses that we have played. We look at that and we know that it's a matchup, but usually, defenses sometimes can throw off a good offense just because they can get you off a rhythm, and they do a great job with their scheme, but the players play extremely hard, and we know it's going to be a tough challenge, so it's something we give a lot of respect. And then, now we're not really looking at it, this is Lubbock-Cooper's defense. We're looking at it, can we go score against one of the top defenses in the state? So it's always exciting to go test yourself. They're really good, and Kavandra Carr can blow the top off the defense. We got another one adding this week. Corey is back, so having Corey added back to the receivers is going to be a good addition. And then we got Will, who hadn't had his breakout game yet, but he's really good in around 10 to 12 yard range, and usually around 22 to 25 we can get it to him over the shoulder because he's 6'5", but he catches the ball real well. So we're extremely proud of our receiving corps. They do a lot of good things and they complement each other, but the running backs have added to the receiving corps as well. So they run and catch really well. So it makes us a little bit more diverse than what we were a year ago.
Have a win like that's good for the program and good for the kids and good for the coaches. That's an example of what we're trying to build and trying to put together. So it was a lot of fun. Well, you can get caught up in the wins and losses of the program. In the past, we tried not to get caught up in the losses, and we're not going to get caught up in the wins. We're just trying to get a little bit better. And there were a lot of things that we did on last Thursday that we've got to improve upon, and the kids understand that. The wins are nice, and we're going to enjoy them, but the focus can't be there. The focus has to be on getting better. So for the kids to have a good time and enjoy it, that's important. And sometimes as coaches, we get too caught up in the X's and O's and execution and those kinds of things. We forget that it is about high school football and about kids having an opportunity to have some fun and learn some life skills. So it's important for us to enjoy it and to have some fun, especially after a win like that.
Yeah, I think it just showed that our kids have kind of that never quit mentality, and that's a cliche thing to say, but I really believe it. And there's been teams I've coached in the past here and other places that down 17 with I think we were 6:36 left. We'd kind of been going through the motions, and you kind of accepted your fate. And our kids never did that. And anytime you have the explosiveness we have on offense, you have a chance. And then we have the ability to get people to turn the football over. And then that's kind of what happened on the last touchdown. We pick it off, we go score on it, and just extra point, miss it. And that's just, kind of how it, after the extra point, I'm thinking, man, I should have gone for 2. But had we gone for 2 and I'd have missed it, I'd have said, hey, man, should have kicked that extra point. So, it's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. And so, but I was extremely, extremely proud of how hard our kids competed. And, it's not very often, unless it's a championship game, that you have kids visibly upset at the end of the game. And we had mostly the whole team in some type of tears or down because they had played so hard, and they deserved to win, and they didn't. And that's kind of part of life, and that's what makes sports great. You got to overcome those odds and move on, and we've done that this week, and so we're excited about playing the next one. I think a big thing with Bushland that we haven't seen a ton of is they're going to play really in your face man-to-man defense, and then they're when you watch them, it's really almost once you kind of want to play defense how they play, because they just bring everybody. It's like an all-out blitz. It's like if you ever played Madden, like Engage 8. That's like what it is all the time. But it's really fun to watch, and their kids play really, really hard. And that's something that we normally don't see a ton of because of the kids we have, like TJ on the outside. People want to double him as opposed to man him up. And so that's something I think that, we may not see that again till in the playoffs. But it's something that adds an element that's something different that our kids haven't experienced. And it was different Monday, even with our JV doing it, because, our receivers are used to sitting down in holes and trying to find open spots. And now all of a sudden that guy's following you everywhere. And so you got to get open on the fly, and you got to get open fast because they're bringing pressure. Offensively, they're Andrews was up tempo, but they're kind of to another level. It was like a mock speed up tempo. And so I think that's going to be really good for our defense to have to get lined up quickly, have to communicate all the time, because the first time you don't communicate, and again, we had some corrections this week in practice where we're running the same play 4 different times in a row, but we're throwing it to a different receiver every time. We're trying to switch coverages because we know that when they start going really fast, we want to be able to get lined up and make sure that we're set and that we have us taken care of it. So I think things like that from every team we've played helps us down the road when you go like next week to play Seminole, and then the following week to play Borger and Perryton and Levelland, and then into the playoffs. And so I think that's a huge deal for us, is you're trying to take those elements that teams are really good at, and then you're trying to become the best you can at defending or trying to score against those elements.